Welcome back to First Listens, that series where we listen to an album that neither of us have heard for the first time.
Today we're going to be listening to DOMINIC FIKE's Don't Forget About Me demo, as this is his debut EP, and he's an artist that I've not really ever, not only not listened to, not really heard of before.
Well, I'm completely the opposite. I loved this EP when it came out. However, it has been a little while since I listened to it, so I'm excited. Let's kick things off with the first track, 3 Nights. Funky bass line for you already.
Yeah. I like the funky bass line mixed in with that like muted acoustic guitar. Oh. It's got a little bit of a reggae vibe going on, hasn't it?
I like that. Call me what you want, if you want, when you want, or whatever it says. I just like the way that he delivers it.
You can't reach me if you wanna stay up tonight, stay up at night. Like green lights in your body language. Seems like you could use a little company from me.
I know what you mean. I never thought about the reggae.
Yeah.
And figured out like you say. Don't waste a minute, don't wait a minute. It's only a matter of time for you to.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's impressive. Yeah, this is funky, man.
Great little harmonies and callbacks as well.
Yeah. I like those little ad-libs in the background as well. Auto-tuned.
I can't fix each and all your problems. I'm no good with names and faces. She sent me naked pictures from her neck down to the waist. I get my feelings involved. She stopped returning my calls. The flaws turning to walls and barricades. And I'm too far gone to know days. And every long day is a bad one. I can't make you call or make you stay and take you off a pedestal. So I get lost in modern music, watching movies, talking to the walls in my room, walking through the halls in my head, just trying to make sure it all makes sense. I ain't made of money, maybe someday you can take it from me. I'm up too late.
Bro's got flow, you know?
And MIA for 3 nights
The motel.
under street lights in the city of palms. Call me what you want when you want if you want.
Yeah, dude, that line is good.
Names if you call me up. 3 nights
I feel like it'd be hard to do live.
Oh, yeah.
in the city of palms. Call me what you want when you want if you want. And you can call me names if you call me up.
Back to that nice little instrumental. Seeing us out. Like I say, I had no idea what to expect from not only this EP, but also this artist in general. And I think that I'm going to be pleasantly surprised by how this EP plays out because, going into it, I have zero expectations. From that track alone, I now have quite high expectations. I'm hoping the rest of the EP plays up to it.
It's a proper funky little number, that, innit? It just has you bopping around. And before we recorded this, you kind of said, what type of artist is he? I was like, I don't really know how to describe him. It's a bit singy, a bit rappy, a bit, I don't know, but really good vocals, really clean vocals. Let's swiftly move on to the second track, She Wants My Money.
Liking these guitar-based beats.
The mixing of that's really nice, how the higher notes kind of come in the other ear.
Yeah. Oh, the reverb on that snare. I mean, on the drum kit as a whole. I like how at the end of each verse it fully stops all the sound.
Look, fuck 'em, I gotta get the money too. I got 3 to protect, I need a money tree like what you need the money for. If you got a reason, you need a couple more, cause I can't wait around for you.
You know what this song feels like to me? Like floating on a pool on a little inflatable when you're on a holiday, you know, like chilling.
Yeah.
Super relaxed.
Like one of those little flamingo floats.
We've got a little cocktail in hand.
Yeah, go on, strawberry dac. Almost sounds like a glockenspiel. Bro's got some vocals, man. Whew.
if all you want is my money.
Few questions now. The guitar. Is he playing the guitar as well? Because that guitar solo was genuinely quite impressive.
I know that he can play the guitar and has like been in TV shows, etc., where he's been sat playing an acoustic. So maybe so. I'm not entirely sure, but he is also the only writing credit on that song, which also makes me think that he probably is.
If somebody can let us know, was that DOMINIC FIKE playing the guitar there? Because if so, that's very impressive, because not only can the man spit, not only can the man deliver some beautiful singing vocals, if he can do the guitar as well, who is this man and how have I never heard of him? Another question, the second one. Is he doing all the vocals?
Yes.
Because it sounds like a different person when he raps.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like his singing voice.
They've put some effects on to kind of differentiate between the different styles that he uses. I think like in the rapped verse in that, which was quite short, it kind of had like a radio-esque effect over it. But I think that in that song that was so simplistic, they did a good job of, like you mentioned, the reverb on the drums, the guitar being a little bit wobbly, the differently affected vocals where it was chill, but it didn't send me to sleep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they had like a kind of a floating guitar in the background as well that was merging between all the different sounds. Really cool stuff. Let's not stop. Let's go on to the next track here with Babydoll.
If you are a DOMINIC FIKE fan as well, let us know in the comments which album we should listen to next, because Tim's not heard any of the other albums either.
And please do not forget to like and subscribe.
Looking for somebody different, cause my daddy was a pimp. My mama had it, but I miss it anyway. Oh, baby, don't. Please don't.
I like the cleaner drum kit that's kicked in now.
It's almost got a bit of a jazz feel to it, this track.
Bit of a swing.
And out of space, I didn't make it up, but you can't find it on the phone or a globe, and I can take you with me if you really wanna go. Oh, baby, don't. I can't move on. I can't move on, baby, don't.
Yeah, I heard the switch in the vocal styles there and the effects on the voice. Short and sweet, to the point. Something I've noticed already is that he likes to end tracks with a line that feels like it should have a follow-up line, but then it doesn't, and then the song just ends. I quite like that style. It's pretty cool. And I'm liking this so far, you know. I feel like that must have been a bigger track off this album.
Yes,
off this
it was.
EP,
I think 3 Nights, the first track, and Babydoll are the bigger ones off the album. And I just like the fact that it turns the energy up a little bit. Really short track, but just puts in a tiny bit more movement for us, because the last one was super chill, but it's just funky, man. Just so funky.
This is not at all what I was expecting from DOMINIC FIKE, I cannot lie. We're going to go on to the next track here called Westcoast Collective, which, for a track title, Is there going to be some kind of West Coast influence in his rapping? We shall find out.
I used to live out west in a collective. We used to live out west in a collective. Everybody got arrested cause nobody wanted to sleep. I used to dish out verses on purpose, and if you wanted to purchase one, you weren't as good as me. I don't know if that time is coming to an end. I hope the band gets back together when it's over. Don't you go running for the head.
Oh!
You can't outrun it by yourself.
Yeah, he loves a little cutout, doesn't he?
That were a lovely bit of energy, that.
Different vocal style, almost sounds like The Strokes.
Talking about calling him up, and now it sounds like he's on a phone. Clever, clever.
Oh, that guitar's floating across the headphones.
Yeah, man. It's rather indie-esque, like you were saying, like Strokes type.
Don't you go running for the head.
Yes.
You can't outrun it by yourself.
Another rather short one, but I really think that the band, or if it's just Dominic, I really don't know, do a fantastic job of building up these different feelings with just the basic instruments. It's just a guitar, drum kit, and bass. They're not really using that many different effects or random instruments, and it just has a proper full-bodied experience.
Yeah, and the effects that they are using are very simplistic ones. It's not like it's anything crazy. It's not like they're doing too much. We've heard a couple of maybe keyboards where I said it was like a glockenspiel style, but other than that, this is very simplistic. And the way that they're crafting these songs almost gives me an XXXTentacion vibe, where they know that they don't need to overstay the welcome. They're like, here's our idea. It's going to run on for maybe 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, whatever. We're going to get it done, and then that's it. And I really, really like it when artists do that, because I think sometimes artists can just try and drag out a song, and it's another verse, and it's another chorus, and it's another verse, but it loses all of its kind of meaning and its power, whereas DOMINIC FIKE has nailed it on the head.
Well, let's go on to track number 5, Socks.
Which is Joe's favourite Christmas present.
My least favourite. In fact, as an adult, I don't mind it.
That's what I mean. I love getting socks, man. When was the last time you bought your own socks?
I bought loads in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Cheap,
All right,
good,
yeah,
Uniqlo.
Yeah, yeah, fair. I just get mine at Christmas.
Tim asks for socks.
Yeah, I request them.
I can't keep track of all my socks.
It's me.
I'm irresponsible, not because I'm a rock star.
A lot more somber vibe.
You want. I think I like to hear you talk. If I set fire to these walls right now, would I set foot inside your mind? And if you say
Little bass
yes,
in there.
am I allowed back in? I hate the way it falls down, but I like the way it all sounds.
That kick drum's heavy.
Since you came back, I've been on guard, watching my walls. And when you moved in, I think I knew then everything was. And all I want is your
Hey, it's cool how they're just leaving the guitar in the left side.
If I set fire to these walls
Kind of helps it merge into the track.
right now, would I set foot inside your mind? And if you say yes, am I allowed?
There's like a really high-pitched harmonized vocal in there as well.
There's something about that track in particular that gave me more like Joji vibes in the way that it was kind of, he had all the ad-libs where it's going, hoo, hoo, and all that kind of stuff. There was a bit of vibrato on his voice that he was putting in there. A lot more tame and somber than the previous tracks that we've heard. I felt like that was a lot more introspective.
Yeah, it was a bit more calmed down, but I think it also gave us a moment to actually appreciate his vocals a little bit more, especially with the harmonies and stuff that were in there. Maybe like the range he can do, especially with that higher pitch one in there, but it just flows nicely, doesn't it? I just feel like I'm on a big wave.
Yeah, and you can tell that this is his first EP because it's such a varied amount of tracks and a varied styles that it feels like these are just things that he's come up with before he decided to put out his EP. And he's like, you know what, these are all mega tracks. I'm going to throw them onto one project. And so far, it's actually flowing very nicely.
Let's go on to King of Everything.
Oh, proper discordal piano.
This was one of my favourites from this EP.
It's a bit of a spooky intro, really, isn't it? It's like something you'd hear on one of them haunted house rides. The big witch pops out. I do like the simplicity of it, like you were saying. It's just basic instruments. Oof. I'm a sucker for a bit of backmasking, me. Such cool sounds. Very unique. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It was not this. Great guitar work.
Great mixing again as well.
Watching movies on my phone. Whenever I want, I turn it as loud as it goes. 'Cause when nobody's home, I'm the king of everything. Make the rules up on my own. I can break them if I please. 'Cause I make up the
Bit of echo on his voice.
Everybody's equal, but not me, 'cause I'm the king. I make all the other people tell me secrets in my dreams. I wake up when they tell us to. If not
That's funky.
with you, I'll take my time to make you smile. 'Cause I know just how you feel when you're alone. And you don't need me, no.
There's so much going on, but there really isn't at the same time. It's confusing my brain.
And I love the way it feels when you take the wheel. I know you don't. I'll take what you need.
Do you know what I think I like about this EP? It feels effortless, but doesn't feel lazy. Do you know what I mean? It feels like he's just having fun and putting out these tracks. Like, as you said, first ever project that he's put out. Like, he's just made them and he's chilling. And it feels like something you could achieve if you knew what you were doing. But he still put a lot of thought into every little tiny change in each song.
Yeah, like he's not forcing anything out, is he? It's all very thought out, but in an effortless way. And I think that is indicative of a good artist because it's somebody who knows the vision in their head. They know exactly what they want it to sound like and they achieve that first try. There is a couple of other artists out there that I can think of that are like that in this realm of kind of singy-songy, rappy. I don't even know what you'd call it.
Singy-songy, rappy, dappy.
Singy-songy, rappy, DOMINIC FIKE. That's what they call him.
But I think with that song, I quite like the weird intro. It felt a bit experimental in comparison to the rest of the album, and then we kind of kick back into that more indie vibe as opposed to, you know, the kind of spoken word rap that we've had at previous moments.
There is a very large indie vibe across this album, isn't there? And it's kind of like it's melding its way into this more... I don't even know, because it's rap, but the beats are all made by instruments, so it's not really in that rap style.
Well, to say this came out in, is that 2018?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like the SoundCloud rap of indie, but like the best example of it. That's how I kind of... It's always like DIY indie, but there's been a lot of thought put behind it, where someone could just make this in the bedroom if they were very talented, but also someone could have been in a studio with loads of people playing it. You know what I mean? It's a bit confusing.
At the same time, it's got that merge of styles. But up next, we've got Falling Asleep. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you're not falling asleep, subscribe.
Yeah, good one, that. I like that.
So you can get what you want, because it really doesn't matter.
Oh.
If you think nobody's watching you and do it too, 'cause you're just like us.
That's a clean kick.
Disappoint all of the people who adore you. Or you can run away
Completely different vibe.
and take me with you. They want away.
Oh, very Discordo guitar.
And his voice is that hidden behind all the instruments.
I think I know what you mean, but watch what you say, 'cause they'll be trying to knock you down in some way. I keep a couple of feet between everybody and me. You like to take them away and attempt to ruin my day. And if it
He's got flow. I'll give him that.
Got flow, and then he just switches into some really nice vocals all of a sudden.
you can say what you need, so you can get what you want, because it really doesn't matter if you think nobody's watching you and do it too, 'cause you're just like us. Don't you play the role and disappoint all of the people who adore you, or you can run away from here right now. Take me with you. They want away to love for you, 'cause they don't know anything about.
That hook was very, very catchy. And I say this in a good way. There was definite like Oliver Tree vibes in there for that chorusy thing. It felt like it was in that round, but then there was also the Joji vibes. And it's really hard for me to nail on like what year these different artists were released, and had someone heard someone else and they've been influenced. Did they all just kind of come up with the same style around the same time? I don't really know when Oliver Tree started releasing stuff, but it's in that vibe of this kind of, like you were saying, it's like SoundCloud something. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not your polished studio rap kind of stuff. It's its own.
Or maybe
genre.
it is polished and it's meant to sound like this. This is always my question.
But either way, it's in its own genre and it's in its own lane. And I am very impressed so far.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever heard that before. This is on technically a disc too. Maybe when I've listened to this EP in the past, these two extra songs weren't on here, because that's my first time listening to that, and it feels very different to the rest of the album, but in quite an entertaining way. I really like that little guitar riff that was licking in every now and then. It just felt like it added a bit more hype to the track.
Sorry, I just had to. It just made me think of Chris Eubank. Lick 'em. Yeah, and to say that this EP is only 17 minutes long in total is absolutely crazy, because it feels like we've had so much content and so many styles and so many different things going on. But up next, we've got the final track, unfortunately, which is Batshit.
Well, as I said, leave a comment, tell us what album to listen to next. I know in the album after this, there's a song that I really want you to listen to, because it's called Chicken Fingers or Chicken Tenders, and it's all about chicken tenders, and I feel like you'd enjoy that, just because it's the type of track that...
I feel like I'm a little batshit for not have listened to DOMINIC FIKE up until this point, to be honest.
Yeah, and anyone who's not subscribed yet is certainly batshit.
You heard him.
I don't know if I've heard this one either.
Well, we love to see it. New music for you. Oh. Raw, this one. Yes, now, come on.
This Dominic Fike's take on punk.
Yeah.
What was
There's
that?
a little cat in there. No. I'm waiting for a final kick in to lead us out. Yes.
That's how I feel. Everyone that knows me wants to take me on a date.
Do they?
So,
Yeah.
I just have to turn everyone down. Yeah, it's awful.
You are a lot like Dominic Fike, actually. There is something about that track that felt like that was the most unpolished track, but then because of that, it then raised up the rankings for me. I felt like the unpolishedness and the kind of raw and readiness of it made it a better track.
Those last two really did just feel like they were added on. Both of them kind of had that. His vocals were slightly under the instrumental in the mix, which wasn't the case for the rest of the EP. It feels like those two were really just two who went, we'll give them them ones as well. It was a bit of fun. But that was cool. That was like a bit more of a punky, angsty feel, and we'd not seen that yet. I enjoyed it.
Well, it's on camera.
Might leave that in.
There was something about that project that really surprised me. I don't know what I was expecting when I came into it with Dominic Fike. I don't even know what genre I'd put him in or what I thought he would be. In my head, and I don't know why, I was thinking like Declan McKenna. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just because the name Dominic and Declan are quite similar or something like that. I'm not sure. But I'm on my way to becoming a Dominic Fike fan, I think, because this is giving me the vibes of... We've done a listen to a lot of XXXTentacion stuff. I've mentioned him a few times during this. And this is a similar thing where it's an artist that I never really listened to. Like, I barely even heard of. Obviously, I've heard of XXX, but in the style that... This gives me the same feeling that it did when we listened to our first Triple X project, which you should go and check out. And that I know that I'm going to like this artist and the future stuff they do purely based off the one project that I've heard, because the sounds and the styles are so... They're in that vein of uniqueness and that you only really get, like you were saying, with that SoundCloud kind of unpolished style. I don't even know how to put it, but there's something about this as well where it's the most simplistic guitar, the most simplistic drums. That last track especially, basic chords strummed, the drums are really simple, the vocals are really simple. But if I ever tried to make anything like that, it sounds like dog shit. Whereas his sounds like batshit. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, I think it feels very individual to me. But also, one thing I really liked about this EP, and if you go re-listen to it a few times and enjoy it a bit more, there's a lot of really catchy moments, especially in that first track, that 3 nights in. There's loads of little choruses, and even just the way that the tracks are built instrumentally gets you just slightly more hyped for a little increase in energy. And I found myself when I was like 18, 19, and someone sent me this EP, just bumping it all the time, because it's one of those I feel like you can listen to in any scenario. You don't have to be happy, you don't have to be sad, but you can be happy or you can be sad, and you can still kind of get some out of it. You can be walking somewhere, you can be chilling in bed, and it kind of suits all occasions because it just feels so... I don't know, I think personal is the right word. It's like you're just listening to Dominic Fike do his thing, and luckily I enjoy that. You
can kind of put your own emotions onto the tracks, can't you? Yeah, so like you're saying, you can feel anything, and these tracks will reflect that if you're listening for that specific thing. And I think, again, that is the sign of a really good artist, and I'm very excited by the future of us listening to Dominic Fike, I'm not going to lie.
Well, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, tell us what album we should do next. I mean, really, it'd be good to do them in chronological order, but if everyone else thinks that the next one's a bit crap or Tim wouldn't like it, etc., then let us know in the comments and tell us what you think about Don't Forget About Me.
Thank you very much for watching.